a motion to start our meeting here?
Motion.
Motion by Julie, a second?
Okay.
Second by Jim, and you in favor, Joey?
In favor.
Nice. All right. So we do have minutes going around. In the future, I'll make sure that everyone gets a digital copy of that ahead of meetings there. But we do have that. And before we get into the meeting here itself, Ryan should be here momentarily, but I am aware that John Gary will not be here tonight. So according to how we've always acted historically, and if I remember correctly, how our bylaws are written, we can nominate our most tenured alternate to fill in for that seat tonight for voting purposes. So that being the case, that would be Val. So is there a motion to have Val, our alternate, to be our 5th voting member for tonight?
I'll motion that.
Second, Jim, all in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
All right.
Welcome, Val.
Welcome again. So just to provide a very brief summary of how we're kind of
Right.
acting moving forward here. I know we have some new members. I want to welcome Laura Hajar as one of our alternates, and Joseph Tamig, one of our new board members. Welcome.
Thank you.
Super happy to have both of you on board. If you haven't been to meetings in the past, I believe most of you have before, but we used to go through a whole thing where we would provide a summary and an update on everything that would go on. And to be quite honest, it would make the meetings maybe an hour longer than needed. So moving forward, we email the rec rundowns ahead of time. And then if there's any program that you feel that we need to bring it up, we'll bring it up during new business. And or if you have heard of a potential complaint or incident from a program, again, that would be the time to bring it up, is during new business. But moving forward, we will send you the updates on how our programs are going a week ahead of meetings there. So we will just going to dive right into the group discussion. So before we get into the new board roles, which is typically our chair and vice chair, I do want to announce that one of our board members, John Gary, has decided to resign from his seat. He does have, if I remember correctly, 1 year remaining left on his term. In the short term, this is when we use alternates to fill that seat. And if I understand correctly, it is up to the select board to fill that spot for the remaining part of that term there. So we will inform, Andrea has been out this week, we'll inform the TA and we'll inform the select board on that and see how they want to proceed. I don't know, now that we have added an additional alternate seat to the mix, if they feel that to wrap the rest of the year off, if we should use our alternates to fill that role, or if they feel that there's someone that we already have that could fill that. I believe we brought everyone on that filled out a statement of interest this year, so there's not like there's a candidate that got left out that could potentially fill the role, but that's kind of where we are in the status of that. So unless there's any questions with that, we're just going to dive right into what, and I made copies for everyone, and I believe I emailed them out. If not, I'll make sure to double check and do that again. But there is a copy of our bylaws. For people that were here the last year and a half, this was a lengthy process in trying to update this. We are not necessarily going to get into it now, but I would love for everyone to take this home. Again, I'll send you a digital copy, go over into it. Now that we have a larger board, if there's anything that needs adjusting, additions, removals, whatever it is, you get that back to me and we will address it at future meetings. And then from myself, the rec director, I'm just going to provide a very brief summary of what I believe what a role of a rec commissioner and alternate is. You know, in the nicest way possible, you are the cheerleaders for the department. You help support the department in any way possible, whether that's helping coaching and parking, or coming down doing site walks for BudCom, or we'll get into a little bit more. But Laura's been great in trying to help us set up an office space over down at the BRC and things like that. Being involved in the planning process. When we get into the roadmap, Jason and I believe that our roadmap will also provide a clearer picture of what alternates can help us out with.
And commissioners.
And commissioners. So that's kind of my vision of it. If anyone has anything to add on, please feel free to interject. But all in all, that's a role of a recreation volunteer. So for the last few years, we've had Julie here acting as the chair. And normally when this is our very first meeting back together as a new board. So this is typically the annual meeting where we decide to figure out who's going to be the chair and vice chair. So this is where I'll kind of turn the floor to all of you here. Maybe you can have the opportunity to speak to if you're interested in the position. And before I do that, I can kind of go into what the roles do, and then we'll vote on that, and then we'll go down to the vice chair. So to summarize what the chair does for the rec commission is, you're really kind of a soundboard anytime. I mean, we Julie and I, anytime we had a potential camp staff issue that needed addressing, I'm contacting that. If there's a coaching issue, field conditions, anything like that, you're getting a text or a call middle of the day. I know when I first started, Val was our chair, and she was a great support system, and I would not be where I am today if it wasn't for Val. So you're kind of a soundboard. If for some reason you see something, whether it's online or at a program, and I can't address it immediately, you kind of act in that role to help that out. The current chair also does the minutes for these meetings. When it's in here, it's awesome. It's nice because you can just pull up YouTube, do the minutes, and you're good to go there. If we were back there like we were supposed to, we have a recording system here. You go home, you do the minutes. The draft of the minutes are supposed to be done within 5 business days, and then our minutes get approved at the next following rec meeting. Am I leaving anything out?
Chair does the minute?
They do now, yes.
Yeah. I've been the chair and the secretary since my term.
Point of suggestion.
Somebody
now that
wants that.
Jason we have the extra
Yep.
position.
Mm-hmm.
I think that responsibility should shift to Jason, similar to the planning board.
Yeah.
How the
Thank
planning
you.
board does it.
I was thinking that too.
Sorry, that's just a lot for a chair to do.
Yep.
That's just my 2 cents,
This
because
is
I never did it when I was
Yep.
chair.
They
So.
also have the ability, not that I can't have access to upload the minutes, but it was always just easy for me to send it to Andy. He'd get it, they'd upload it, and it's good to go. So I think with you being the coordinator, and it's funny you mentioned that because I actually had a note on that one, for you to be doing that, where I think it's just an added thing for you to do. Like, not that I want to add any more to your plate, but I think it's great because it's just easy for you guys to upload it and get
That's
it on the
decided, I'll
website.
probably take that on.
Yeah, perfect. I mean, that's what I feel.
Jason's happy to do it.
I'll do it with a smile.
Yeah, he's gonna do it.
I'll
I will do it with a smile, and I will like it.
He was thrilled.
So to summarize it, we were discussing the role of the chair before we went into a vote, and then we've had some members highly recommend that maybe Jason take that task on. If that's something we feel strongly on, do I have a motion, or if there needs to be added comments, please say so now. But is everyone okay, or can we make a motion to add that to the program coordinator's responsibility?
I make a motion to add it to the program coordinator's responsibility to take and record the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All in favor. Congratulations, Jason. You've been voluntold for the minutes.
And I just asked Jason that you get them up within a short time. And if you have them, then for this meeting, list them as a draft so that people can see them. And then once we vote on them, then they become the actual ones. Because they're not, you guys, they haven't been up. It's real, you guys want to be transparent. So they should be really up. And I think they're required by law to be up, so.
So my question is, I've had people ask me about that, and when I go onto the website, they're always listed there, so I kind of don't understand why everybody says
Show me
they're
right
not.
now, they're not there, Julie, I was.
No,
Oh.
I'm just talking about in the past, I've had people email me and go, hey, can you look up? I haven't had a chance to
So-
look, so to be honest with you.
Currently, all of the meetings that we've had this year, the minutes are up.
Yeah.
I don't know why March was giving me an issue, but March is up.
Okay.
We have not been able to meet recently because we haven't had enough for a quorum and whatnot. So if I remember correctly, we didn't meet in June, but we had 2 meetings in May. We met once in July. Those minutes should, that's these minutes. So once these minutes are approved tonight, those will get uploaded tomorrow. I asked this question when Karen was here. I asked Andrea all the time. To my knowledge, we have not done anything we haven't supposed to be doing, but moving forward, we can definitely get the watermark drafts up there within 5 business days, so at least the public can see it before the next meeting. So if there are any questions or concerns, they can, and that by tomorrow, the approved minutes will be up. So we'll definitely be more efficient with that, but I don't believe we've broken any criteria up to this point. So if we're good with that, is there any questions regarding the role of the chair before we throw any additional comments or names out? So I'll start off by saying, who is interested? Julie, you and I work very well with each other.
I already said I would step up to the plate again. You know, after our last meeting, folks didn't really seem to want to do it, so I just threw my hat back in.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy it. Andy and I do work very well together. I do a lot here in town with rec, so, you know, I just felt that they needed me again, then I would do it, so I put my hat in the ring.
Anyone else looking to?
I'm happy to have Julie be in that position again.
Are you making a motion?
No, in case somebody else has anything they want to add, I want to let people know how I feel.
Ryan, Val, or Joey, any comments? Normally, first years aren't allowed to take this position on, so just throwing that out there.
That's okay with me.
So,
Fine by that.
really, Ryan, any comments or questions?
Be happy to have it.
All right, so I need a nominee, I need a motion, sorry.
Jim?
I'll make a motion.
So Jim motions, do I have a second?
Second.
Ryan, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, Julie is our chair. And now vice chair. So to get into this is really the vice chair just really kind of just steps in when the chair cannot be reached. So if for some reason something pops up, again, at camp, a program, a sport, facilities, wherever the case may be, if I cannot get a hold of Julie, or I know she's traveling, whatever the case may be, it's someone else I can kind of go to make more of those immediate decisions. And typically it is more on the personnel side of things. And I mean, to be honest, and everyone here can attest to it, like I know for sure, like you and I, like we work closely with basketball. So like I might just call you if I just have a typical basketball question, be like, oh, hey, but sometimes I'm 50-50 when it comes to these type of days. I'm a football guy. I don't like canceling games, but if I feel like I'm not judging the situation appropriately, I will ask for a second opinion. So normally if I can't get a hold of the chair, the vice chair then kind of takes on that responsibility. I would like to think it's nothing new to outside what the current board members have been doing, but it's a nice title to put next to your name, and again, you're kind of there to back up the chair. Yep. So is there any questions on the role as the vice chair? Is there anyone that would like to be in that position?
I look around, I can't believe I'm second longest tenure.
You are.
I feel like I haven't been here all that
I
long.
know, it goes fast.
As the elders, statesman on the board, would you like me to volunteer? I'm happy to do it.
If you're happy to do it.
I would like to be vice president, vice chair.
All right.
I make a motion for Jim for vice chair.
No, second, yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. So we're settled there.
Ryan, you get to go next
At this rate.
I feel like the time might be, could be fast.
All right. So to kind of go into the next item on our agenda, it's the furnace. Unfortunately, it's still the one quote that we had at the last meeting. With that said, I have scheduled 3 more site walks. 2 of those 3 site walks have taken place. I spoke with, it was Heat Pro and Diamond Mechanical. Excuse me. And they're working on the estimates right now.
Okay.
So I'm hoping to have that before Labor Day. But I know those 2 are well on the way, and I believe Thursday,
Middle right.
I believe it's Thursday, the 28th, I have another site walk with KNS. So this will give us 4 quotes. I am gonna go back to David Fields here. I'm gonna kind of take out the pricing, but I am gonna go back to David Fields based off of the other 3 quotes we're getting, because he's quoting us on an entirely different system, having a system both upstairs and downstairs. Our facility cannot take that on. It needs to kind of remain where it is now. So in fairness to him, and he's also our town plumber, I would like to at least give him an opportunity to adjust his rates or his quote based off of what is appropriate for our facilities. Once we get those 4 quotes, we'll sit down together as a board and we'll go through it. And I'll probably, hoping he'll come in if he's watching. Mark, please come to our next rec meeting. But I will ask Mark Kennedy to come on down. I've really been leaning on him through this process. He's very knowledgeable with HVAC and whatnot. He's been with me at these site walks. So, but we can sit down together as a board. We can go through the quotes and we can prioritize it as 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then at that point, we take the recommendation of the rec commission and we bring and present it to the select board for approval. I'm personally, and we can discuss this in our September meeting, but I was hoping to use our capital reserve, the town's capital reserve funds to take care of this. It is a public building, and I believe that meets the criteria. Unfortunately, impact fees do not meet, replacements do not meet the qualifications for impact fees. It needs to show growth. So maybe if we were adding a second system upstairs, then yeah, this could qualify for that, but there's just facility limitations behind that there, so it's just not feasible.
Even with energy efficiency and stuff like that, that wouldn't account for growth usage?
We could, that's where we need, and maybe we can get into it a little bit more in our roadmap.
Yeah.
But we're not really gonna, to my knowledge, we're not getting a large sum of impact fees for another 1 to 2 years. They have kind of slowed down a little bit. And I know as a board in the last year or so, we've been discussing on trying to save those funds for lower field irrigation.
Okay.
So that's why I'm personally more interested in trying to appeal to the select board to approve it through the capital reserves fund. And then try to use impact fees when it's time to put in the irrigation system.
If you can't get the board to approve capital reserves, it will have to come out of revolving if we can't use impact fees, right? Or we just don't do it.
I mean, yeah, the revolving account is at a much healthier number than it used to be, but
Yeah,
we
but
are still,
that quote, though.
but we're still waiting on our bill. And to be frank, it's taken a while to get our account to where it is now, and we're gonna talk about other items that I'm hoping that we can use our revolving account on and not go to the town, AKA expanding the lower parking lot. To do that, I really do not want this to fall on the revolving account. I personally believe if this is a town building in a public space, that the town should be able to take care of this system. The current system, when I was hired here, was back in 2018, I was told was on its 9th life.
Yeah, it was.
And we followed the recommendations of the previous building inspector, Kip Kaiser, to kind of stretch the life out. And we're at that point now. And I don't like making assumptions, but I would like to think that there should be some general support from the town and the community, that their community center has an updated furnace system. The one that's currently in place is 25 years old. It was put in 2000.
I understand that our select board rep isn't here, so we can't maybe get the commitment tonight, but could we look to get that commitment before we start? I mean, great, get the quotes and everything, but that's gonna be a massive decision
Yeah,
to spend,
for
you
sure.
know, $50,000 to $60,000 on an HVAC system if we don't know where the funding is coming from
Yeah.
for it.
I'm not opposed to that. That's why I was thinking we wait for the quotes to come in and then we rack and stack them, you know, based off of our priority level, and we appeal to them with what we're trying to look at. And if that is a no, then I think we need to go back to the drawing board. But if you're saying that we should have something in our back pocket for when that moment comes, then I'm open for discussion.
I
I
would
think-
say, if they give them a heads up, like, do they even know this is coming before you come and ask for $60,000?
I mean, it's been on our CIP plan for a while now. When I did our site walk with BudCom, I told them that the furnace was very high up on our priority level, and the drainage.
It has, yeah.
It is. I do not think this is anyone's getting blindsided by this
Okay.
if we go to them.
Fair enough,
Has
I'd
it been
probably-
put in writing?
Yes.
So that we get documents.
okay.
Mhm.
The other thing for the other two that are coming in, are they aware that you told, like, you got this and it's for up and down? Are they gonna give quotes on up and down stairs? Or is
No,
this
we're
guy-
only getting quotes
We're
for
only getting
for
quotes
for the
for-
downstairs.
It's only
It's
It's gonna
zoned
be
for one
sizably
really.
less.
Right, okay, okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
All
when
right.
I got this number was very alarming to me.
Yeah, yeah,
And
right.
on top
It's
of
alarming
it,
to everybody.
just the logistics of it, I was like, I don't know where it goes in upstairs. Like, I
Yeah.
really don't know where it goes, because the only other realistic space it could go into is the current
Storage room.
storage room where all the emergency cots are, and the BRC is an emergency building
Yes.
for the town.
Plus that room isn't, heated.
It's not
Or
insulated.
insulated.
You know, it's not insulated, so that would come with further expenses down the road. So, honestly, I mean, personally, I don't know why we can't put in a similar system that we don't have to worry about for another 20, 30 years.
Because I don't even think we're zoned for, like, you'd have to redo ducting and everything. It's
Yeah.
not zoned for.
And there might have to be some minor ductwork done, because they're gonna have to go in there and take a look
Right.
based off of what it's been the last 20+ years.
I think when you get the other two quotes, that's when we kind of have to look at all of the quotes and really make a determination of, regardless of him being our plumber, and I like giving business to folks who do things like already here. However, we also want it to be cost effective. We want it to be that way for,
Yes,
you know,
especially if we're
the
going to town.
residents
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff as well. And just make sure that, like, we are getting the most bang for our buck.
I think Laura had something.
Yeah.
I was just gonna ask, have you looked at anything like, a grants, programs? I know I just quickly looked at New Hampshire Saves. Towns are eligible. There's retrofit incentives for financial and technical services for installing new energy efficient equipment to replace older systems in existing municipal buildings. So have we looked at
I mean,
that?
I have not. I have no experience with grants, so
This
Town
isn't-
has a grant position, doesn't it?
No,
no,
they don't.
The
not
contract
anymore.
In the spring.
Oh.
But I will put that on my list.
If that's, yeah,
I mean,
that would
New
be
Hampshire
great.
Saves is pretty easy. That's,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
for meant for people at home too, so.
Yeah.
But,
If that's okay with you,
Yeah,
that would be very
absolutely.
helpful. Thank you.
Thank
I'm
you.
curious
Thank you.
too, would it be possible when getting
Oh.
these quotes, are we able to get the line items with the costs associated to each of those to be able to compare what, like, if we're getting a certain system from one and the same system from another, are those costs different?
Like to like.
You mean
Compare
where
it
you want to
Exactly.
line
I
item
want to
price.
combine it,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
Because
it
everything
should
all
be
in here
that
just
way.
says this is $58,000.
Correct.
I would like to see what
Everything
each
should
line
have
Oh,
item
and
a
by the way,
price.
why does it have Massachusetts sales
I know,
tax?
I-
Because
I
he,
had
It
that question,
doesn't.
it came out to
It says
zero.
zero.
So,
it's zero, because he
Yeah.
does business in both.
Yeah.
So
Fair.
what I can do, Joey, is because I'm still waiting on 2 of those 3 remaining quotes, so I don't even know, like, they might already be doing that. So if they are, I can follow up with Dave here and be like, hey, can you break this down for us, please? And then if they don't, that will be one of my follow-up questions. Hey, no, thanks for sending over, but could you maybe provide an itemized line item here per cost here?
Need to see that.
All right.
Quick question with regard to this, talking about earlier, Holly, if there was like an improvement or upgrade. What are they doing for AC?
The furnace.
Yeah, it does,
Both.
it does both right now, yes. So,
Not necessarily well, but it.
But it does.
Yeah.
yeah. Any other questions or comments surrounding the furnace? Okay. I am going to move on. So everyone, again, we have emailed this out a couple times. At any point, if you just need digital copies, if you're more of a digital person, please let me know. I'm more than happy to send this out. We are definitely trying to do a better job of getting this out ahead to you before meetings.
Andy, one more thing to kind of note, and remember when you do go to the select board with this, remind them that in the past, there hasn't always been support, like, when there was major termite damage that had to get fixed, that came out of the revolving account. Like, at some point, the town does have to pay for repairs in the building that is owned
Town
by the
building.
town.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yep.
Yep.
And we did pay 45% of the brand new doors.
Right.
We took care of all the indoor renovations through impact fees.
Right.
In my personal opinion, if we can't get it through something like grants, like if we're gonna call it public space, like the town should be able to support this. So I can definitely do that.
Are the new board members familiar, do you guys understand the revolving account and the history of everything with?
Not the history, but understand the way the accounts.
Okay,
Yeah, I know how the account works. I don't know the full history of it.
so we pay a portion, the town pays a portion. We are the only department in town that does that.
For the building?
Yes.
Utilities, yeah.
Mhm.
So
Heat,
we pay a portion of the utilities, a
Oil.
portion of heat, all that.
Is there a specific reason why we're the
Mhm.
only? There's the history.
It's just-
Yep.
There
there's
was at
history,
the
all right.
time, because it was originally kind of adopted in as a different program. This is before my time, and I've served for well over a decade. It has been brought up many times to push back onto having the town pick up more or all. And then it's been pushed back that they want control of the revolving account. So we've let it kind of lie over the years, although when you're starting to get into bigger expenses like this building is getting older, there might have to be a shift in the way things operate. Because it may not be sustainable.
Yeah, I think we just play through the process here, see what they say. I mean, they might be in great support of this, and and if Laura seems like she's going to help out with this process here. So if we can also find a way to,
Soften the blow.
soften the blow or whatnot, then they'll probably be even more supportive of it. But when it comes time to cross that bridge, I will certainly make it clear that, like, if you're gonna have a rec department in public space, like, you got to have some skin in the game at the same time. So I want to approach this tactfully, but play through the process at the same time. So I'm going to dive right into the lower parking lot expansion. So this project here is 100% out of our revolving account. We've had parking issues for the last few years now. When something's going well, sometimes there's negative effects with those positives, and the real positives have been we've really increased the foot traffic to our facilities in the last 7+ years. Well, some of the downsides to that is limited parking, damage to the fields over time, so on and so forth. So originally, when I tried getting the parking lot repaved, I was trying to get the whole lot paved. The town was not for that. They just repaved what's currently there, and we've always operated with the back dirt lots by the playground and the lower field there, the lower field parking lot. With that said, while I believe later down the road we could use things like impact fees or other alternative methods to expand our parking down there, I believe because of how much we have grown the revolving account, I believe we are in a position to at least expand the lower lot a little bit more to make parking a little bit easier. Does it fulfill our end goal of what we're trying to do to alleviate the parking? No, but I do think it's an actionary step forward, showing the town that we are looking to improve the safety of the facilities. We are willing to use our own funds that we have saved up through registration fees, and we can at least provide an immediate solution, or at least a small impact there. We've gone out, I think we did 1, 2, 3, four?
Four quotes.
Four different quotes. And this is based not just off of the dirt lot itself, we were also asking for quotes to maybe do some shrub work on the hill, cut down some trees there to maybe open it up a little bit more. So some of these quotes, there might be some things here we might be able to X out here. And I really don't want to get too far down into the roadmap, but I do think we need to have another item that goes hand in hand with this discussion, and that would be our fields, the care of our fields. And the reason why I bring that up is depending on, I think right around $15,000 is what we should be willing to spend up to out of our revolving account, even with what I expect the town bill to be. I think we should still play it on the safe side, wait for that bill to officially come in so we know where our account is at. But I anticipate that even with up to a $15,000 budget for this on top of the bill, I think we'll at worst be back down to where we've been historically, which is right around $40,000 to $45,000 in the revolving account.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
So option 1, I'm assuming, is what you want done.
Yes.
And then 2 and 3 are additional things
Correct.
that we may do. So it's not like you're picking between option 1 and option 2. It's option 1 and then
We tried lining up each, so each quote came with, well, basically it was, we walked them through the parking lot expansion. So when you look at each option 1 for each of these companies, that's comparing the same exact project between the different companies.
okay.
Project 2, so option 2, which is the hill cleaning for each of these, is cleaning up the shrubs, the bushes, some of the dead limbs that are hanging from trees on that hill there. So each one should be comparing to the next.
And that makes sense to me. So it's not really option, it's project 1,
Yes.
project 2.
Sure, whatever.
Project 3.
And the reason why I bring up the fields is before the meeting, we were discussing the drainage project starting next week, and that we're gonna have to put some irrigation down that lower field in the future and whatnot. I can only give you what I think is best, and then you can, as a board, can advise me on those steps. We, in my opinion, we need to see how our lower field holds up after the winter season, to see whether or not, A, if irrigation is needed, does the drainage help? Will aeration and overseeding in the fall time be enough to fix that issue there? Or A, hey, we do need to irrigate it and then aerate it in the future. I bring it up because I think we haven't aerated or seeded our fields in 3 years, and I would like to get back on a more scheduled basis for that. And in my opinion, they always recommend early spring and early fall. I believe we can get away with doing it in the early fall time and just axing the springtime, especially the last few years. It's been a little bit drier. We don't want to kill whatever we put out there. So my recommendation is if there's a way we can maybe look at the options here and maybe aerate and overseed our upper field this fall. So then a year from now, we can aerate and overseed the lower field, because it will give us some time to see how the field reacts from winter into spring when the snow melts and how it holds up with kind of those April showers there. And then when it does come time, and if we're happy with those results, it's not over flooded and whatnot, then I would be very open to aerating and overseeding that area next fall. And that the quote for that, I got that today, I should have printed it, was from Lawn Doctor, who we're contracted with, but that was roughly $4,800 for the upper field. I do anticipate the lower field at some point in the future to be more, because it's bigger space. But the upper field, if we did it in this month, or not this month, sorry, this September, it was basically $4,750. I'm rounding up to $4,800.
Aerate and overseed.
Or aerate and overseed.
Can you find out what it would cost to also aerate the lower field? Because if the lower field is the one that's in the worst condition, I would say if we aerate it in the fall this year, and then with the plan to aerate again next fall and overseed it at that time, you might have perfect lawn by the following year.
So
We wait, I just think the aeration really does help with that.
I have a question with that, because I'm not opposed to it. But what I'm worried about is we spend roughly $4,800 and we don't see the after effects of the drainage for the first cycle that we go through. Like, are we worried about drowning what we put down in there?
Not overseeding, he's saying just aerate.
You're saying just aerate.
Just aerate the lower field, because I think that it just, you can can see it's on a negative track, and I think if you aerate this year, like, there's really not gonna be anything negative that comes from that for next season. I think it's potentially that the lawn would start to look better next season, but
Right.
I just
Yeah, I
think it'd be
get that.
better set up, but to really nail
Almost
the
just
fall
prep
year.
it.
This would be my guess. Since if they'd be coming out to do the aeration and the overseeding on the upper, maybe while the stuff's out there, it's like, hey, how much would it cost just to aerate
Okay.
the lower end too? Might be
Aerating
$2,000,
down
I
the
don't
lower
know.
may even assist the
might be less.
drainage
I think so too.
where it would.
I was just
assist
putting the
that.
overseed together with it, but if it's just
No,
aeration,
you don't need to, you
I'm
don't need
kind
to
of
do the
open
seed
to that.
part for
Yeah,
the
'cause nothing's gonna
lower.
grow down there.
No.
Yeah.
Not for a
in
couple of
all
years.
probability.
And
There's no
I'm aligned with you,
irrigation.
Andy. Don't seed it now because of,
No.
we're dealing with seeing how the irrigation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so-
But I'm with you on the aeration though. I just, for some reason, I was putting two and two together, but
Yeah.
I can call Mike tomorrow and be like, hey, can you give us an estimate for just aeration on the lower field? And,
Put
cause
it all together.
put it all together.
Up top,
Um,
just aerate the
And
bottom.
if it helps, I want this to be more on the radar. I don't necessarily want to make a decision tonight because I do want the bill from the town, and I've been asking,
Yeah.
And
When
secondly,
was the last time we got a bill?
October.
October.
So we had assurances from the select board rep quite a few meetings ago that we would have our bill quarterly on a timely basis. Is it appropriate for Julie to petition or bring that up as a talking point? Like,
Yeah.
I understand we had some changes this year, there's been some
Right.
stuff. That was a while ago. There's no reason we shouldn't have our bill.
I fully agree. And I would highly recommend
And I
that.
told
I
you
can
this,
say,
and I said that to you like
Yeah.
over a month ago that I
And-
think we may, if we don't get it, we're gonna.
and I can
have
say,
to
I'm
speak up.
checking on this weekly.
Yeah.
I want to pay the town.
Maybe we don't have to pay anything.
Yeah, man, right?
I think it's free.
So like a forgiveness period.
Yeah.
But we can't but we literally can't sit
Do
here and
business.
make decisions because we
Yeah.
don't
Yep.
know what our bill is.
I fully agree. I do want to, and you're not wrong. I also want to state, we're also getting very, very close to the fall season. So we can't do the work right now because then that's going to limit the parking for the upcoming season.
Yeah.
I think we can do
But we
this
can't
in
make
November
decisions.
when the season's over,
Yeah.
but I fully agree with you.
We
Yeah.
can't make decisions and
Right.
planning until we know
Unless we know.
what we have for funds.
Yeah.
Andy, do you want me to go to the town office tomorrow and get this, see if I can get it addressed?
I think the more we go to it, we'll speed up the process, so I'm not opposed to it. I think there's a little bit more to it. I don't want to really get into it, but I don't think,
To write a letter
I
about it.
don't think it's a bad idea
I've
for
done one of those
as
before,
many
so
of us
I'll-
to
yeah.
say, hey,
I think every board member here, if I'm gonna
Yep.
recommend, I think every board member should send some form of
it's slowing us down.
we've done
So
it
it
before
was
in
October
the past.
2024 was the
I
last
mean, I'll
time we
send,
got a
I
bill.
can do mine.
What's the town's fiscal year, March to March?
Yeah,
It's April.
no, April,
No.
yes. The
April
fiscal.
1 is normally town meeting happens in March.
But
And,
it
Right.
starts in January. They pre-fund it back.
Mhm.
Oh,
That's
that's
So is it
Oh,
It's
Jan?
January to
right.
December.
I
Okay.
always forget it's the,
Yeah, but let me just go talk to him tomorrow.
I don't think it would hurt.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Who does
Um,
it's not the town clerk. Who does it? It would be.
I
talk.
don't know if Andrea is here tomorrow, so it would be
I'll
Jillian
talk to Jillian.
that you would have to speak with.
I'll talk to Jillian.
But yeah, I mean, business-wise, it is slowing us down, and
Mhm.
it's slowing down literally, it's having an impact on the community. So
Mhm.
I know
this
the
needs to
select board is
happen.
working on a new financial person, so
Mhm.
I hopefully that will speed things up going forward, but I think that has been an impact. So
Yep.
let's just see if a conversation can help.
Absolutely. So,
Yep.
like I said, I wanted to keep this on our radar. I really wasn't at the point to make a decision tonight, obviously, because we're waiting on the bill, but just timing wise, we're not in a position to break ground right now. But,
right.
and if we do, the aeration, on the other hand, I'd like to do in mid to late September
Mhm.
when the temperature starts cooling a little bit. But going off what Jim is saying, like, depending on the price of that, maybe we bypass the upper field to hit the lower field twice in 2 years, but for budgetary reasons. But I think we need to readdress this later. in our
Without-
September meeting.
Without continuing down a rabbit hole, without understanding where our budget realistically is, I've noticed that all of these quotes either specifically state that there's no stump grinding or removal. That's gonna be a major added cost in
Okay.
there that we need to figure out, because without those stumps being gone, that's not actually opening up our fields and usage.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
you're proposing maybe an update on the quotes?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Could you
Okay.
like put them in a grid format if it's like to like, you know what I
that,
mean?
I would love
That
that,
would be
yeah.
very helpful for
Yeah.
everyone, because I agree with what he's saying, because you've got one at 14,350 for option one or project one and project two,
Right.
and the rest are between
Like
5,000.
8,000 or so.
Why is this so much different? Like,
We
there
can,
could be a reason.
Well, it's word for word what they put. So the ones underneath is word for word what they put. on
Yeah,
the-
but what, to his point, is like, does that include stump removal? Because if they're including stump removal and some of these other guys are not.
Right.
That could be the big delta, because that's a
Right.
huge swing.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's one on Bolduc on the back does talk about stuff removal.
Yeah, it specifies that it
Yeah,
does
it's
not
at
include the stump
76.
Yeah.
grinding.
600, you know what I mean?
Right.
so,
And at the end of the day, you gotta have stump removal because that's part of
Look at what they
making the
did
park.
when they cut down the trees
Correct.
up by the
Yes.
pavilion, and now it's unusable.
And now it's
land.
unusable.
Right.
we
It
can
was
certainly
kind
reach
of a
out
waste.
because when we did these sidewalks, I think we're past when, like, we can get updated quotes at the same time.
Yeah.
So we can see, we can get that included.
Okay.
If it's something like Bolduc where they're not including it, but if it's something, I'm gonna use Bartlett, for example, you know, they're definitely one of the higher prices on here, but if it is included, I want it stated, and
Yeah,
maybe
'cause those
that-
are
and maybe
major
that's the
costs.
difference,
Uh-huh.
so, and we can also get those updated quotes at the same time.
Yeah.
And so just so everyone knows, at the bottom of your agenda here, that was our revolving account as of a week ago. I probably deposited roughly another 1,000 this week, so we're probably closer to 90,000 right now, but
But the town-
I'm making up a number of 15. The board here might feel differently, but again, knowing what the town bill is gives us a clear
Do you have
picture.
an Concept of what the town bill is it?
Before
$40,000?
summer camp, I was speculating around 15. After summer camp, I'll expect it to be right around 40.
I was gonna say, because we have all the salaries from summer camp.
It's about to be at 25,000 for summer camp, roughly,
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's, so you're
not
down
including
to-
any
let's just-
utilities.
50%.
Happy Path, it's $40,000. That raw.
Way to
you have
45,
49.
yeah. So
What other expenses do we have left? for the year
Utilities.
Besides,
summer camp? After
Wait.
summer camp, it's just gonna be the utilities.
Or anything. Oh, yeah, to the town.
Yeah.
okay.
Andy, I'm sorry, you probably already know this, and this is me new. You're talking about tree removal, and I know you showed me when we went on the sidewalk. Is any of that conservation land?
So, I mean, part of it is, but we're not really looking to like push back. Where if you go down and look, you can tell where the overgrown is.
Mhm.
We're proposing to cut back to where that overgrowth is. We're not looking to push back further
Okay,
than beyond what it is, but you can just looking at it, you can tell over time
okay.
new trees have sprouted in the
So we
last
don't
20
have
years.
to mention this to conservation, or do we have to mention this? to
I mean, we
conservation?
can. I mean, I definitely went to them for the drainage. I wanted their blessing before we
Sure.
went ahead and did that. I don't think it's a bad idea. Me personally, if we're looking to just go back to the overgrowth, I think we're well within our purview to go ahead and do that. Now, if we were looking to greatly expand
Sure,
upon of what was already there,
right.
I would be more interested in kind of getting their 2
Okay.
cents on that. But that's
You
I don't
may-
have a lot of knowledge on conservation yet, so,
You may
Mhm.
want to just give them a heads up anyway, because I've seen, not anywhere here, but I've had experiences where, oopsie, we went over the
Mhm.
line.
Mm.
And we want to cover all of our bases and make sure to just say, hey, this is what we're looking at. It's not going to go into the conservation land, but we want you guys to be aware that this is what we're doing.
okay. I can certainly reach out to
Yeah.
them.
About the drainage, I think.
Oh,
it's-
no, they were great. I think they were great with the whole drainage thing, so, yeah. But I think letting them know is a good idea.
We can definitely do that.
Sure.
I don't see why not. So any other comments or anything additional with the lower lots here?
Mm.
So,
All right. So another form we all have here, And we did email this out. This is just kind of hard copy, so we can have it in front of us. But Jason and I have been working kind of on a 1 to 3 year roadmap of like low priority to high priority, of what we think we can get accomplished here within the department. And at the same time, we also believe that, you know, if any individuals here are like, hey, Andy, what can I help out with? You can kind of look at this here and say, okay, here's a low priority, mid priority that I have strengths in this. I can help out with this. I can get the ball rolling with something here. Maybe I can help them out and whatnot, because a lot of the times it's been like, hey, who can help me out with this? But at least with this, the ball's kind of more in your court per se as to what you can do. But in general, this is kind of how we view the department in the next 1 to 3 years. And again, it's just listed from high to low priority, and we wanted to present it to everyone here. We can take a deep dive into this if you like. If there's questions, yeah, please feel free to elaborate.
I just want to point out that this is just a project. So this is if we're all happy, like these are the projects we want to work on. The goal then is for us to go, all right, now here are the things on this project that we need to work towards to get this done. So it'll be more itemized and more specific. We just wanted to get everybody's sense of these are the projects that we had in mind at least.
Okay.
So.
What does install wind guards mean?
So
Pickleball
on our
court.
pickleball courts, we'd like to put wind guards on to guard wind, but also it also can protect
The sun.
sunlight coming in from the sides of the.
Oh, like the
courts.
slats through the fence or whatever?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
So they
'cause
hang
I
on the
was
side of
gonna
the.
ask.
They just
Yeah,
hang
yeah.
from the sides there, so it would cover the 4 sides of a pickleball court,
And we do have quotes on that, but it's what, 3,500?
roughly.
Yeah, and again, when we're talking about these other projects, it's like, where does that fall? And, you know,
I just didn't know what it was. Thank you.
but yeah, that's what they are. And is there, feel free to ask questions. Is anyone here feel strongly about like, why is this on here? Hey, why is this not a high priority?
Are there other ideas?
Yeah, like, please, is
The basement siding, is that pulling the siding down onto where there's concrete to make it look like a?
one building, yes.
Okay.
So I would add the furnace to the 2026, and then what we just talked about for the lower lot, I would add that. I
To
would-
high priority, both of them.
Well, I would add, I don't see it anywhere on it, so. on
I,
here.
Those are 2025.
we'll see what happens.
But it says
our
by 2026.
Yeah, our goal as a board when this year started was to try to have the furnace project completed this year.
Right.
So if it doesn't, but the wheels are in motion, this would be very
Okay.
high. This would be number 1 in 2026.
You make a fair point. It's not by 2026, it's in 2026.
It's 4 year.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry. It's
On
just
the
at the
side.
top. I believe in the top.
I think she's saying it should say
Shouldn't
in.
say, I think she's point, that would mean like.
Everything we want to get done by.
By the end of this
2026.
year.
you
Or
could
by
say
year end.
20, Yeah, or
Well, we
by
want to say
year
in.
end.
Well, the goal is like, so I'm gonna go further ahead of this. So say like renovate Snack Shack. If that happens in 2026, we don't want to discourage that. We're not saying that has to be done in 2027. We want to be done by 2027. If that makes sense.
End of year 2027?
Yes.
It's just,
So-
I get it.
Oh, we can change
Yeah.
wording however we need to, but
And then I would add your office, which I know you have next, but I would
I believe
add,
it should be in there.
So we did this before the site walk. So we put that, if I remember correctly,
oh, you have it in
in
2028.
2028.
Okay.
But after that site walk, it definitely seemed a little bit more feasible.
Sure.
And then we've had this conversation internally. I do believe, and I think everyone here could agree, like that's where our office probably should be, is the community center.
I've been saying that since Margaret.
And it's not a concern, but my question towards it is like, I look at some of these other things, like obviously that's probably more important than wind guards and things like that. But when I look at maybe like the Snack Shack, like we have an office right now. Our Snack Shack is not operating at its full capacity the way it should be. So I'm very open and hey, let's bump this up to in the year 1 of the plan. Because again, I also made this before that site walk. But that's kind of how I was looking at it is
Do you mind if I? kind of
absolutely.
continue? Okay, so I was at the site walk, and you don't know me, but the reason that I had volunteered to get involved was because of my background in fundraising and nonprofits and board development. And so it came up about Andy's office, and one of the community members who were there said, I think this is really easy. We could do this here in the basement. And so they brought Matt Eaton out, who's a builder, and he agreed. He actually had advice to change up the location and to create more storage. And so we said, well, we think this is great. And he's like, I can get volunteers to do that. So I said, well, I will look into how to fund this, because if we can do this relatively quickly, it would be great if we could do it with as little impact to the town budget or your budget. So I got someone to donate, I don't know who knows Ward Burn from town. Ward agreed to donate 12 live lobsters. He did it for a raffle
Amazing.
for his daughter's team, where they
Yep.
raised a significant amount of money. So here are the raffle tickets.
Love it.
They'd be $20 each. The plan would be that we would sell the tickets here, and then the big opening would be September 6th, so we won't want people here all day to be selling them. And then I would suggest, most boards, usually the people who are on the boards, also take responsibility. I don't know, you guys have done this in the past for fundraising, so I would expect that we would come up with a number that we would ask the board members to each sell. I would say 10 would be reasonable. But I think that we have the potential to earn $5,000 from this fundraiser by September 6th. And then I've been to Lowe's, and we just have to come up with a plan for them, and they will send it up to corporate to see what they will do. And we have someone else in town who I have not approached yet, because I don't have the final plan, but I think this is a project that can go relatively quickly if we decide to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it makes a lot of sense to get Andy and Jason over where they work on a
Yep.
regular basis. It frees up space here in this building, which it sounds like they need that space.
Yeah.
So I think this seems like a really easy, inexpensive, because it's mostly just materials, and any materials that we can possibly get donated, we will do that.
Yeah.
Is there any downside to you guys moving over to that location versus continue to be here where maybe it's easier to collaborate with people in town?
Your phone lines and everything set up for what you need over there.
Yeah, I think-
There's a phone, it's not your phone
Right.
extension though.
No, it's not my phone extension. I mean, I would like to think that wouldn't be a hard fix.
Yeah.
I think that's just a matter of just calling Block 5 to come down and do that.
From like a collaboration standpoint, efficiency standpoint?
Yeah.
Is it, are there?
I think for the most part, it would be a lot easier being over there. I think the only time it would be an inconvenience is like I lean on other department heads sometimes for collaboration and or for advice for other projects or whatnot. But if I'm already driving down to the park and the fields between Jason and I, like all the time to check in on camp or, hey, the picnic table's broken, whatever it is, I can't see why I can't drive back to town hall for the same thing. And I would make the general assumption that the errand runs here would be less frequent than going to the building.
Are they looking to put it where the bathroom is? Like there's that closet space and where
Yeah.
everything, yeah.
So if this was the basement and that's
Yeah.
like that one random wall there, and that's the door coming in,
Yeah.
we were kind of talking about this space here. So this is the random wall. Probably should put this up here.
Yeah.
Door coming to the basement.
Yep.
It would be blocking this area off. This area here is the bathroom, and then this is the hallway
With the
to the furnace room.
furnace room, yeah.
So this is where we have extra closets right in here, but that's the furnace room. Bathroom would be here, so people would still be able to come in here. It does kind of square off this area, so it kind of, in a way, would create more functional open space here.
Mhm.
We would be in there during the day, so our senior center wouldn't be a part-time senior center. People can come in at any time of the day that they'd like. In my personal opinion, I believe a resident also should be able to walk into their own community center without having to call and make an appointment during standard business hours.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot easier to conduct site walks for rentals and whatnot. It logistically would be a lot easier to be over there. And I do think the basement does make the most sense, and it's kind of good that we got the floors redone in there a few years back and whatnot, because I think the space is nice. It gets good lighting in there.
We actually talked to, while we were there, part of the reason why it should be that side and not where the floating wall is because that's where the air intake is. So behind that wall, it can't be
Yeah.
closed off.
Correct.
But it does create nice storage. And then in front of that wall, Andy had talked about possibly having a mini kitchen.
Yep.
So it'd be very easy to install cabinets there, microwave coffee pots.
Oh, yeah.
So that for functions, for further use of the functions and for the senior center, it opens up a lot more usability.
And and I know you and I have been going back and forth on this. Personally, I also want to call that room the program room at the same time, and I think it'd be a lot easier to start using that room as such. So I don't see, like I said, we did this here before that sidewalk. I think it's feasible to jump this up high up on our priority list here. But again, this is kind of a start to kind of see where people are thinking we are with projects. You had something, Jim?
Yeah, because it just sounds kind of like the hard part has already been done, and I don't think that's finding somebody who actually wants to do the project. So if Laura's lined that piece up and has already an inroads to potentially how we would fund it, which, I mean,
Yeah.
this sounds like
That's
hey,
great that
we
we're
ought to try this,
doing
why
that.
not?
Right.
Right, let's see how much
And-
money we can raise from this, so why not jump that right up, because
Yep.
what the town wants this office space over here for some stuff too, so everybody gets something
And
out of it.
I did speak with Laura too, because one of my short-term concerns was, and I think she helped me kind of get past this, was like, we have a revolving account. It revolves, so we can raise the funds, and once we're ready to break ground, we can use it. My one short-term concern was like, hey, we're gonna raise the money, and that they don't see an immediate impact right away. My concern was like, well, what's going on with this? So exactly. So, but having that combo, and I don't want to speak
Yep.
for you, but that definitely
Yep.
helped me kind of get
Yep.
past that there.
And it just says support the rec center, so
Yep.
it is support for the rec center. If, like, joy of joy, we raise, there's always more projects at the rec center. And, but getting you an office, I think, is the priority. The other thing is we have these 2 lead volunteers ready to go, and 2 more who said they would help, they weren't experts, but they would help. And I think if we put the call out, there are other people who, I keep hearing that Brentwood was this volunteer town, that they built the rec center and volunteers built this building, so, and I keep hearing that there's this desire to bring this back, and this is a great project because we have somebody who actually knows what they're doing.
Yep.
And we will probably need, an electrician, and I haven't actually put a call out for that because we weren't at that point, but I would also look for someone in town who's an electrician who might volunteer their time, so.
So, not to backpedal, we'll add furnace into the high priority list for 2026 in case that spills over into the next year. I think it's safe to assume that everyone is in, I mean, if we need to put it to a motion, we can, but I think we're in pretty good agreement here. We can jump the rec office pretty high up on the priority list for the short term. And then maybe we can hit the ground running with the fundraiser that Laura has set up here. Jason and I will be out this upcoming week here. It's a long summer, so I know we're checking out, but when we come back on the 25th, we can have more detailed plans for the office space ready to go for the week of August 25, and we can work on getting that done. But I don't see why we can at least get a head start with the fundraiser here that you graciously set up for us.
Do we need to, is this something you have to take to select board for approval?
For funding?
For building for this move, for doing it?
I think you would have to take it once it's finally approved, but we're allowed to explore options. We've always been able to explore options and get all of our ducks
Yeah.
in a row before.
Okay.
And then bring it to them.
Right, but
I
I'm gonna
think we
go
need-
to Lowe's, right, and I'm gonna bring them up, I'm getting project lists, I'm getting donations. At some point, I have to know that we're really doing this.
Yes.
Oh, of course.
I hope this helps answer some of the questions. If we were doing this for an outdoor structure, the snack shack, I don't think we would need select board approval for that. I think what they would want is to making sure that we are within code
Yeah.
of what's getting put in there, but they wouldn't question what we're
Okay.
doing. That's why we have a revolving account, is to
Yeah.
Okay.
kind of run and manage the department as kind of we
we
see fit. But my concern would just making sure we are within code.
Okay.
Again, we can speak to the select board on their stance, but I mean, everyone I speak with, even select board reps, I think there's general consensus. Rec should be at rec.
Right, okay,
To me, it's just more being in code.
Yeah, and it
Okay.
opens up another office for them here.
and then I would also move, start grant writing to 2026, because I can do it, so, and I'm here, that's why I'm here, so.
Perfect. So we'll jump that up to 2026. We'll clean this up for everyone. Any other questions or comments regarding this? And like I said, I know this is a lot, but it sounds like we're gonna add the furnace. cross my fingers we can get done before the end of this year, but we'll add it to 2026 in case it does spill over. We'll move if I'm understanding everyone correctly, we'll move the office and grant writing to high priority in 2026. Is there any other movement necessary here, or like, hey, why are we doing this?
I would also add the website,
Mhm.
updates to the website.
That I'm gonna kind of leave that off because something like change/improve the rental system, that's gonna be more website active. So I think some of these things will trickle into website. Or let me backpedal. What was your vision of the?
There's not a lot. There's a lot that's, I think I had mentioned this to you. When I went, it was a little bit hard to find things. There was repeating. You had the mission for the organization and the vision, and that was also the mission for the rec commission. There really wasn't there wasn't a lot of description of it. There's just a lot. People go to a website, and if they don't find what they want, in 20 seconds they're gone. I think there needs to be more pictures. It needs to be more inviting. I would make that a priority because I think you may be losing people who aren't looking to see what you have.
And is that part of
I
the
was gonna say,
folks
we-
who created that
Tech
website?
committee, like, we have.
I can ask communications. I
That's
mean,
what communications
we can.
Really does it.
We
Right.
can upload, and correct me because you've been taking a pretty good reign on this, but we can like add all the pictures we want when it comes into like the registration site. So you
Sure.
click that little burgundy tab, so you get through the registration portal. That's where we can start implementing a lot more of those pictures and things like that. Are you discussing more like the home page before you get directed to registration?
I don't remember now
ca-
because I looked at all the pages, and I thought there was a lot that could be.
Can
If I can,
Yes, 2 seconds. Maybe we can schedule a time so
Okay.
so we can walk through it together so
Okay.
I can see what you're seeing.
Okay.
I think I know what she's referring
Yeah,
to.
there's
It's
some things I
technically a
have
whole
control
website.
over and access to, and there's some things I
Right.
don't. We have way more access on the registration side of
Yeah.
things.
Okay.
I think the main.
But most
page
people
is-
probably don't get to registration
Right,
because
they can't find it or.
they don't find it or they don't
Correct.
think it
Mhm.
was like, oh,
Which is part of communications, I think we'll have to get involved.
One thing to ask communications when, if you guys are exploring this is, what's our search engine
Right,
optimization?
right,
Like, what are
yeah.
the metrics? Like, they're gonna have Google Analytics, they're gonna have stuff, you can actually
Right.
go and see where people stop scrolling on a page. You can
Yes.
literally see that detail, so.
is the communication board's committee still functioning? Because I think it was disbanded.
I think it was.
Oh, really?
They got the website running. Take what I say with a grain of salt,
They
and
all
I
just
think that
said,
was
"See ya."
See you later.
Oh,
yes.
no.
And a lot of it there was not a training. They said there was going to be a training. It's been figuring this out along the way, and I know we've been having complications.
You gotta go back to the select
You
board
gotta go
for
back to
this.
select board and be like,
Yeah.
how do we make changes?
But I know the week of the 25th, like we're gonna fully overhaul the rental system, so it's people can start renting the building online.
Oh, sweet.
So that's a change that will be happening prior to September.
Mhm.
With that said, and we'll keep it under the current structure. When it comes to I don't mean to change topics. When it comes to the facility rentals, the last time we updated our rates, we did bring it to Rec Commission for approval to then bring it to the select board, because that's one of the few things that they wanted to approve on was our rental rates of the fields and facilities. So we're trying to set it up to more of an hourly breakdown versus block scheduling. It's on the user side of things. It's a lot easier to say, I need the building for 2-3 hours. They pay for what they need rather than being locked into a 6-hour block. But we can definitely speak with the select board about the website, because I know you wanted to chime in, so I want to give you an opportunity to do so here,
But before we go on, do we need a motion? I think Doug Finnan was waiting for us to get back to him to know where his next step is. So what do you want me to tell him, or do we have a
For
motion for
the
the
office
office?
space?
Right.
So I just want to make sure I'm understanding this. You want a motion to see if we're ready to move forward with it?
I'm just asking, when I talk to Doug Finnan, what am I telling him? I'm not sure what you,
Okay,
I vote we're moving forward as soon as possible.
Right.
I don't know
Yes.
what's
So we
the-
can make a
what's the
motion to
place.
say that she can move
Yes.
forward with getting with him, saying that we are on track to
Getting things
start
into
Coming out of
putting
place.
this
impact
together.
fees, so, I mean, sorry,
Yes.
it's coming out of our fees, right?
Correct.
I think we were trying to fundraise for it, and then pending the budget revolving account.
We're taking care of it.
Right.
There's no money needed from any other.
Nope.
It's just from
We're
us.
not asking the town for money.
Nope.
Everybody seems like we want him over there.
So-
Why
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
just, what's the next step? What, you need to get back to him, what did he say was gonna be?
Well, there's some things that Jason and I do need to do. It's just we've been busy with end of the summer activities and camp and whatnot. But I think for the discussion of the office space itself, I think we're ready to move forward to approve
Correct.
saying, yes, we will do this. Because, I mean, unless anyone here feels differently, again, we can start that fundraiser right away. That doesn't mean that we can't break ground in September, October, November.
Right.
I think we can move forward with this. Is there anyone opposed to that?
Nope.
Nope.
Need to find out from him what he needs. This David guy would be the person head.
This was Doug, well,
quarterback.
Doug Finnan will be
Okay.
working with Matt Eaton to oversee
Yep.
it.
Okay.
The one thing that I would recommend, and I think we've talked about it, is we recommended that we wait for the office space till after the furnace system gets set up.
That's right.
Because if there's any HVAC duct work that needs to
Okay.
get done, it has to
Right.
be done before the office gets put in, not
Mhm.
after when
That
we
makes
put walls
sense.
up and stuff.
Correct.
The ceiling needs to get readjusted, so
Yep.
it should be after the furnace.
Thank-
not before.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Okay,
The
well, so-
furnace work definitely should happen first,
Well,
but
we
I
should
think we
start this.
we can start
We can
that,
start fundraising.
and I think we can agree to, like, once the furnace project is done, we're diving right into that.
And we're gonna wanna do that fundraiser anyway, cause his season is gonna be ending soon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I will get these all printed, and then I will get them to Andy, and if you can sell them, just pick up what you can get from him.
Yeah.
The tickets are $20 each. They fill out their name, address, and phone, and then we take that, and they keep the little lobster thing.
Okay.
When's the drawing?
Will be September 9th, so it's after the 6th, which was the big day here, or
Yep.
there, and then pick up by September 13th.
And thank you for mentioning September 6th. September 6th is going to be the first weekend of fall sports for us. So I know when Laura and I spoke, like, it would be great if everyone could grab what they can and try to sell it, whether you're bringing it to the office, whatever it is. But on September the 6th, excuse me, I know we plan on being down there for opening weekend. There's going to be tons of people down there. That might be an opportunity to set something up, set a table up on the court, set something up at the concession stand, and we just try to sell what we can there. But at least from the commission base, it'd be great if we could all try our best to divide and conquer here.
Can we set up a table there?
Yeah.
I would definitely set up a table.
If you
Yeah.
can take Venmo or something
Yep.
right there,
Yep.
that would be the
That's
way
easy,
you could
yeah.
do this, right, in one centralized location, because I don't know if you're gonna be able to do that,
Nope.
sell an individual ticket.
You
and
can
just go with
set up
cash,
a-
right?
As long as I
Business
have-
Venmo.
As long as I have Wi-Fi or internet, I can do Venmo. I've done it for the Historic Society.
Yep.
Works really well.
We
Yep.
have a Venmo, right?
Not yet.
We've never,
That's so easy to set up.
It's
though.
easy, you can set up a business one.
Well,
Super
we're
easy.
trying to do business, but not a business.
Right.
so
No, I
it's
get- I
on the
get
side.
I've actually really just done it with my own,
Oh,
and
okay.
it works really well.
And then just transfer it.
Just
so just so I'm on the same page, we're going to go try to set up a business Venmo account, and then if I need help, I can just come and contact you.
Okay.
Perfect. And then we'll set up a table. I know off the top of my head, I'll probably be there roughly 8 to noon on September 6th. So we can try to set a table. We can try to either have a station. Activity is going to be going on there from 8 to 6, 8 to 7. During the fall time, all the coaches here know we use as much daylight as possible. So I won't be surprised. I mean, most of the rec activities will be done by noontime. And then at that point, the fields are just leased out to flag football, Exeter soccer, and whatnot. So if we are trying to set up a table for the day, whether we need to do shifts or whatnot, we can set that up. But bare minimum, if we all come together as a team from 8 to noon, I like to think with the amount of feet that are going to be there, that I think we can sell enough there.
Yep.
All coaches could send a note out to their team, and all the parents say, there's gonna be a drawing.
Yeah.
We should do that too.
Yeah.
Send an email out for that one, yeah.
Talk about the coaches meeting too.
Parents of the summer camp as well.
Snack shack, do we take the credit cards?
Not currently.
But that, I think that goes back to the Venmo account, is having one of those just in place. I mean, for if we're setting up a table, you can print out the QR code, everybody can pay for things right there. If we can
Yep.
do it at the snack shack, like, that can be used for so many different things.
I have used our site, the Stripe account for donations. I've been able to set up a QR code there. Because that will go right into our bank
Venmo.
account too.
Yeah.
So, but we can do Venmo and we can do
Well,
Stripe if
if you have
necessary.
Stripe that works,
Yeah.
I don't think it matters what
Yeah.
you use. If you have a system that works.
It'll take me like 5 minutes tops. I can make a new QR code and we can add it right there.
Okay.
Venmo might be easier to do with the concession stand.
Yeah, because then they can say, look, see, I Venmoed Brentwood Rec.
Yes.
Yep.
From their
But
account."
I think for the fundraiser, I think we can go through Stripe, but I agree. We can still set up a Venmo account for the concession stand.
Yeah.
You know, make a start.
Jason, you wanted to say something about something earlier, right?
Yeah.
I think it was the HVAC about the office? I think that's what you were alluding to.
Well, I was just saying that we
No,
should
it
wait
was
till
about
after.
the website.
that's what it was.
Yeah.
About the
Oh,
website.
website.
Yeah.
From my experience, because I've done quite a bit of the maintenance on that. There are certain restrictions that we have. It's not like I can just go in there and code whatever and make it like customize it however you want. So there are certain restrictions as to what we can manipulate with that. So it would be a question potentially for Municipal One, who's our contracted person for our website. However, I've been having difficulties contacting them for other support issues that we've been having. So I don't know. We can see what we can do, but
See if
There's
you can
support.
touch base with someone that was on the comms board to find out if they do have someone that you can utilize, you know, hey, do you have a behind the scenes contact for us? Because nobody's here now to take care of the website, but we want to do stuff to the website, so.
I've tried at least 3 or 4 times. I've tried contacting Municipal One's support line,
Yeah.
and I get disconnected every time I
Oh,
select their
yeah,
support line.
that's
so,
not okay.
Yeah.
Plus, you're gonna wanna be able to have, like, might be something as simple as some IT guy for that could literally go, here's your access codes,
I
here you
love
go.
if I can even get
You
a hold of somebody. I
Oh,
haven't been able to get a hold of a person.
Yeah, that, like,
that's a
come
problem.
on, that's
And
a
I don't think
problem.
that's a Block 5 question.
No,
Mm,
that's
No, that's gonna be Municipal One.
Right.
Okay. So is there any, we're still technically on the agenda item of the roadmap. We've kind of voted and approved to move forward with the office space and to get the fundraiser going. I could get that QR code probably by tomorrow for you. And if everyone can let me know, because our next meeting, actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. We do meet before September, which is awesome. So maybe at the next meeting, if everyone could let me know whether or not, if you're available on September 6th, that'd be great.
Mhm.
And I'll touch base with Laura on the distribution of the raffle tickets there and get that going. That's
August
gonna-
27th.
Yep, 2 weeks from today, August 27th.
The 6th is the first soccer games, right?
Yes.
So I'll be there anyways, so.
Perfect. We'll email the summer camp families. We'll talk to the coaches at the coaches meeting. We'll get the word out there and we'll see what we can do here. Unless there's any other items on the roadmap here, me personally, I'm absolutely fine because this is the first time we've had a chance to discuss this. If this is like a table and we continue to look at the other items on here, unless anyone here feels like there's a dire need to discuss something else here right now.
I mean, me personally, I think we're fine where we're at now. We made a couple of movements. I think that, you know, you guys just fix that up, and if people are looking at it and they go, oh, yeah, just send you an email and say, hey, add this to the list.
So we'll update this for everyone. We'll email it back out to everyone. What I'll do for the next meeting is we'll add it as another agenda item, but we'll just review it as needed, and then we'll go from there. But I think as Julie said, I think we're good there. Is everyone fine with that? We're okay to move on? All right. I have one last item here before we get to new business if necessary. And I'm actually going to turn the floor over to Jason because Jason here would like to try to sponsor Brentwood Rep.
So I came to Andy a couple months ago maybe. This spring I actually started my own business here in Brentwood. So I'm a resident in Brentwood. I'm also a business owner in Brentwood now. I own my company is called Lionheart Media LLC. I deal with sports photography and marketing materials basically. So I was able to come to Andy in the early spring and offer to help take pictures of our T-ball program. And I'll pass some pictures around of some that I was able to take and give to our department here. If you want to take a look and pass it. My proposal, because I know we're looking for additional sponsors, I'm willing to step up to kind of be an example. You know, I'm willing to help sponsor my local rec department and offer basically my services as a photographer to help advertise and market our future programs. And my offer was to provide those services in exchange for the benefits of being a sponsor instead of offering a monetary donation for that. So I was basically, instead of providing monetary benefits, I was providing a service. So we spoke with Julie a little bit about it, and we had some concerns that we figured we'd bring it to the board to discuss as a whole. Either way, I'm not hurt if this is something that we decide against, but once again, I love my rec department, I love working here, and if this is something that I can do to be an example for hopeful other Brentwood businesses, I'd love to be kind of the spearhead to start that.
And
So,
I have a question, Jason.
of course.
You're looking to take more action photos during programs and events.
Correct.
You're not looking to replace sport pictures that we
Correct.
all, because we're not spending anything on guest gifts. They do all of our individual
Correct.
and team photos. You're only looking to do action photos during programs and events, correct?
Yep. So my goal would be to go down during practices, during games, take pictures, and work directly with Andy and with the commission here to provide materials for if we need pictures for grant writings or whatever it might be, posters, flyers. That'd be materials that the department would use. I would not be working directly with families to give them images of their kids. I know on all our waivers, we have them sign off on who's allowed to have pictures taken and all that sort of stuff. So we filter through that whole process. But this would be directly with Brentwood Recreation, not necessarily its users. For team or individual photos.
That was my question when we spoke a few weeks ago, was conflict of interest. And, you know, just making sure that there wasn't any conflict of interest, but after they explained to me what he actually wants to do, it's not taking away from Gekas, it's basically doing what you just explained. Now, the other question that brings to mind for me is, would you be looking to just specifically only be doing rec, or would you want to be getting involved with other businesses in, like, doing things for the 4th of July parade? You know, if a business is like, I need a portfolio of photos, are you looking to expand in the town of Brentwood?
So my goal with my brand is to focus on sports specifically.
Okay.
So I do not want to limit myself to other outside opportunities outside of Brentwood. Or if there's, you know, families inside of Brentwood who go to school at Exeter High School and want to, you know, hey, my kid's playing at this game, I'd like to hire you to take pictures of my kid. I would like to be open to those opportunities. But this is just a service I figured I could offer in exchange for something here at Brentwood Rec.
Jason, would you do it during your working hours or like be?
No, it'd
with
be
the pictures-
after hours.
Okay.
It would be on my own time. I would not do this during my working day.
And what was the name of your business? I got-
Lionheart Media, LLC.
Lionheart?
Lionheart, yep. LLC.
Benefit to you would be that you'd have a referenceable, like,
You build-
customer or something when you go and talk to other
Sure.
potential.
Build his
I have,
portfolio.
Like, that would
Like a
be What you
portfolio.
would get from it. And
Yep.
pretty much we would just get in-action
Exposure.
photos, which is good and potentially
Marketing
video
material.
or something that would go on the website, right?
Correct.
Would you want a banner at the field? Would it be one of those sponsorships?
It would be, so I think that's where we'd be kind of talking about it. I
I
really
think that was
haven't-
the start of the gray area.
I haven't really negotiated or spoken with Andy what the capacity would be. I would be looking for some benefit of being a sponsor, so whether it was a logo on the T-shirt, like we did with the advisors there. I can't think of their name, or whatever degree that I think this commission was willing to offer. I would be willing to discuss and talk about that, but I'm pretty easygoing. Again, my goal with this is trying to help spearhead this for future businesses, hoping that I can help motivate and encourage other Brentwood businesses to step up as well.
Yeah,
So
that's when I mentioned to you too, when we talked, when you mentioned about the banner or on the back of a T-shirt. Now that, because I didn't clarify because it was a quick convo. Now that it's after hours, you technically are a business owner and you're not, it's not interfering with your rec
Correct.
job. The board itself, obviously, we would make sure there's nothing funky in any bylaws or anything like that, which I don't believe there are. It's probably something like we as a board would have to make a decision on, okay, are we good with him having a banner? Are we okay with him being on the back of a T-shirt? but you clearly seem to have the two roles separated. I would just probably, me personally, would recommend doing a little bit more digging just to make sure that your tush is covered so that there's nothing.
And even if it was only for a season, if it was for a season just to help get those other people in, to help motivate and get other businesses into town, and they're like, all right, Jason, I think we've worked long enough. We're gonna back off now. Once again, my real goal with this is just to try to help the department. I love working here, so if I, as an individual and a resident and a business owner, can help that, I would like to be able to offer.
Sure.
So to me, it doesn't seem all that different than arrangements we make with Exeter Junior Softball League to say, hey, you're gonna come in and you're gonna do work. They do field maintenance, they bring in dirt, you know what I mean? And then they get the use of our facilities. You are coming in and volunteering a service and getting a
And I think when we talked about the banners, how I saw that people do that is the corporate buys the banner, and then there's an annual fee to have it up. So we would waive the fee. And to me, that seems very reasonable because with a corporate sponsorship, the whole point is it's supposed to be reciprocal benefit. And for you, I think having a banner up would be, and then if you decide it doesn't work, you have your banner, you can use it elsewhere. So
Yeah.
I
And I love the idea of encouraging more businesses to join in, and that's really the perspective that I'm looking at it from is, I go to Portsmouth and see like the baseball fields down there. There are banners everywhere of all these different businesses that support it. We don't have anything.
and you're leading by example.
That's my goal.
Other businesses,
Yeah.
If I can do it, there's other businesses in town that should be able to do as well.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, if people have their banners up and it brings more people coming in here in Brentwood who have, their own business, or even like I go to tons of basketball stuff for my son, so I see real estate agents, like their banners are up everywhere. So you've got a variety of businesses who might be like, oh, all right, well, I can, let me see about putting my banner up there. There's tons of families.
So what I would say is that that's something that I talked to Andy about as far as the banners, that we are not really making use of that space, and it's a really good income source, but they're not going to come to you. So
Yeah.
we're going to have to
Nope.
make a concerted plan to go out and I've told Andy that, I have no problem doing that. But what we need is a form and
Yeah.
where to order their banner or they don't have to buy it from it, but like specific instructions so I can go out and say,
Yeah.
here it is. And I think it's great if we
Yep.
already have a business up there because that is
Yeah.
just, no one wants to be alone.
No,
So,
no, and I did that for, when I was the chair of the fireworks committee here in Brentwood. That's how we got funding for that. We were door knocking all over the place here for businesses, and they were, giving us donations and doing all that stuff and having their names up, and it grew, for the few years that we had it, we were able to have businesses have we had the Epping Toyota. They came to one of our final fireworks before they shut it down, and they had a car, they had their banner. So there's a lot of things that can be done with, I think, our businesses here.
Question for the commission, if I may. In off seasons, so like basketball, when it's typically winter, when a banner wouldn't be visible, would the commission be open to a logo on the back of a shirt in that instance? So that way I'm still receiving a fair benefit for that season.
But wouldn't we make that part of banner / shirts or something?
I can't remember
We'd have to
our-
define the program.
Not necessarily.
no, you wouldn't do that. You would get
I think it's
T-shirts is one price,
Yeah.
banners are another price.
I- I
Banners are
think
for a season.
I think they're very identical prices,
Mhm.
price points for sponsorship. But I think they're two different things. So a company currently, and I misspeak here, so please correct me. I believe a company can either come to Brentwood Rec and say, I would like to buy a banner, or I would put a banner up and it's at X cost, or I can sponsor a team and have my logo on the back of their jersey, and at least that specific team that gets that benefit, or that logo. So it wouldn't be the whole league or the whole.
It'd be one team.
It'd be a single
Gotcha.
team that would have that.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense because the one team would be the actual sponsor,
Mhm.
and then their players get the benefit of that.
So in off seasons where the banner isn't visible, or whatever, I'm open, but would that be a fair potential compensation for the off season where those fields aren't accessible or visible?
I guess I would just want to know what the value is of what you're
Sure.
providing, if you could make an estimate of if
Okay.
you were doing this for an organization that was paying you, which is what you would get,
Sure.
what you would charge for it.
Yeah, I
So
can
we-
definitely give you that.
Okay.
I know when I spoke with Andy originally, in the spring, I was like, hey, if you let me just give this a test run, this is my first, go at this. I waived all my fees just to provide Andy with these pictures. And I talked about in the future that, if we want to continue this, I probably would put a price point on it, but this would be the way to continue this without having to worry about it. But I can come up with a value if that's
Yeah.
helpful.
Quick question, which I
Yeah.
haven't really thought of, because we've never been really great about images in the past.
Sure.
Is
Well,
there
that's- yeah.
something in our sign up that says we may use images of your child?
Yes.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
they sign off
They
on the
have to sign
liability.
Just
on it.
making sure.
Oh, yeah, no, that's.
Yep.
part of the
Yeah.
waiver.
Yeah,
Yep.
the
Perfect.
waiver, yep.
One thing I would add, and I hate adding on time, but I will say for basketball, especially for the younger kids, if you were gonna go to games, Jason, I think it'd be worthwhile putting the sponsorship on the back of all the shirts, just throwing this out there. If you were going down there actually on Saturdays and videotaping and getting kids like making their first basket and clipping that to like a 20-second video thing that you send to the parents, so the parents have the video of their kid making the first basketball shot they've ever made. I know that's far out there, but I'm just telling you, when those parents see those videos, they love it. And they show their friends. I have a bunch for my kids, because my
Yeah,
kids
same.
are awesome. So, but, I remember
Yeah.
the first time the
Uh-huh.
kid scores, the look on the kid's face.
Yeah,
The parents, it's like, it's a moment, and they don't have that moment, because they're watching the game, they're
Yeah.
not sitting there with their phone, so
Uh.
that is there's some value to you there, just a business idea. For
No,
you,
I
maybe.
get you. And my goal here would be specifically working with Brentwood Recreation, not necessarily parents. But I appreciate your feedback and
Well,
ideas.
if there was a way that the parents can come to the rec and say, hey, so.
Would it be really cool if we live stream games? I know a lot of sport things
like
do
little
that
live
now.
barn.
We're
at
like
the rec.
100 million years away. from
Even if they get those
Ah.
videos for free, I'm saying, I don't know. how
Most of
much
the
it would
people
cost to
watching are
put
there.
the
What's
logo
that?
on, sure.
Most of the people wanting to watch are probably there.
Yeah,
You say that, there are grandparents and stuff. It's like a thing.
it is, it
I see what
is.
you're saying, though, about,
Mother watches live barn for my
if
kid.
your sponsorship wouldn't be present on the field and all that. I believe I have seen softball before with a team sponsor and like a business on the back, but I've not seen it on basketball.
We have in the past,
Have
we
we?
just don't get a lot of sponsors.
Okay.
We used to.
Where
Way more.
where is the place on the jersey? Just curious.
It's just literally the back of the
Currently,
jersey.
so
Probably
we
like
have-
behind the neck or
Usually where the
something.
name goes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so Clove Hitch Advisors, that's the name of the company I did for soccer. And on the pictures here, it's one right on the back there, right above the number.
How much would that cost to put those on the back of all the jerseys? If we said for all the kindergarten, even if you just.
This,
taped
this,
it,
the standard in this setup is normally the sponsor would pay for the team's shirts to be on there, to have their name and brand on the shirt. And then something like the banner, normally they would do the initial startup costs, and then as Laura was saying, there's an annual fee that they pay. So I don't know if I'm picking up what everyone's putting down, but I'm assuming he would be paying for his banner so he can keep it after the fact, and we're waiving the annual fees. And then adding him to a T-shirt, really, it doesn't change anything for us because we're still buying the T-shirts anyways. It would just be adding his image on one of those teams' shirts.
Right, I get that.
No extra fee, we don't think, but from the printing company, there must be something to stamp that.
Yeah,
on
there
the back,
is.
'cause you guys-
Yeah.
I don't know how much, it might be a
It's a
dollar.
double sided.
It's
Yeah.
There's an initial cost, I believe, right, to add the logo.
Yeah, normally they charge a $40 initial fee for the image, and then from there it's included in the printing cost at that point, but it's a $40 initial
You don't
startup.
do a front side, back side print charge?
Nope.
We should
Nope.
use a place in Rochester?
Yeah, we're still going through Collins, and they've gotten much better with the shipping and the return there. But off the top of my head, if it was something like basketball, 10 kids, something like first and second grade shirts, the value of that would probably be around $100, because it's roughly $10 a shirt, maybe $12 a shirt.
So I can speak with Andy and we can iron out like how many games is expected per season, and we can find the value as Laura was suggesting.
And we can
bring it in front of you guys again at the next
Yeah,
meeting.
we don't need to make a decision.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to bring this to the commission as something that I would like to do with your permission, as long as there's no conflicts of interest that are found, all that sort of stuff. So that was the goal behind talking about this. Thank you.
Yes.
All right, we'll continue that convo at our next meeting. Does anyone have any new business to bring up here? Going once, going twice. All right, so our next rec meeting will be Wednesday, August 27th. It will be here tonight's meeting was our July one that we rescheduled. Conservation canceled which is why we were in here. So next meeting, we will be in here at 6:30, Wednesday, August 27th. And unless there's anything else, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Julie and Ryan, 1 and 2, all in favor? Awesome.
Good to have you here, Joe and Laura. Good idea.
Half hour early.
Yeah.
Half hour earlier.
Andy, I didn't want to